and testosterone. Now remember I talked about those children on that remote island that didn't have enough of the dihydrotestosterone to have secondary or phenotype secondary male characteristics. So this occurs from testosterone with a different enzyme. Okay? So dihydrotestosterone is going to, some of the testosterone is going to be converted to this. Also known as DHT, and some of you may have read about that with male pattern balding occurrence. Okay? Now, that's the male sequence. Okay? So this in the female is taking place in the theca interna. So females, we make testosterone. Okay? In fact, after menopause, many women have low levels of testosterone, and that affects their sexual drive. Or if a woman has to have a radical hysterectomy, which includes removal of the ovaries, oftentimes small amounts of testosterone are given as part of the hormone replacement because the ovaries produce testosterone. Now, another source of testosterone in the female are the adrenal glands, okay? The androgens that are produced there. All right, what about the male then produces estrogens? So in the female, what happens is the androstenedione that is in the theca interna gets sent to the follicular cells. Okay? So this testosterone in the female goes to follicular cells, and it is converted to estrogens. In the male, where would it go to? It's going to go to the Sertoli cells anyway, because it's going to bind to the spermatocytes. So it goes to Sertoli cells and is converted to estrogen in the Sertoli cells. So females produce small amounts of testosterone left over from what's not made into estrogen. Males produce primarily testosterone, but a small amount of it is converted to estrogens. The enzyme that does that for both is aromatase. So the actual chemical events occur in the same chemical cells under regulation by the same hormones. We just have different amounts. Okay? And those cells, once they're in the ovaries or in the testes, have a different appearance. We'll come back and talk about progesterone in the female when we do the hormonal cycle. I don't want to add it to this particular component right here. So testosterone then, our primary function that we see it is in that maturation, in spermatogenesis. What we're going to move into next, I'll give you a short break. Okay? But it has a lot of other functions throughout the entire body, as well as related to sperm development. So this is just, we've talked about this already, it's just up on the screen about FSH going to the Sertoli cells. Okay. And then it just it's involved right around that area of the Sertoli cells and in the development of the inhibiting androgen binding protein. Let's take a break. A few minutes early, but I want to give you some, this is kind of a bunch of few words So let's just take a 10-minute break, so come back at 10 till. And we're gonna, remember we looked at this just briefly and focusing on the names of the cells. So I wanna look at the chromosomal changes that occur here. And then we'll take a lab break.